Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Gaming with me, Tony Mo, and we're here today to talk Star Wars Battlefront 2. Wanted to stress some of my hopes and concerns for the game as we are pushing into its launch. There's going to be a beta coming up soon as well, and also because it's a game that has been slowly gaining traction for me. You know, I always, of course, have wanted the Battlefront series to be successful as it's being rebooted by DICE and EA. I wanted the original to feel awesome, and I wanted to be addicted to it, and I wanted it to be a game that I didn't want to put down, but unfortunately it simply wasn't that for a lot of different reasons. But the more I keep seeing Battlefront 2, whether it's straight up raw gameplay at something like Gamescom, obviously a lot of big creators like Jack Frags have been able to cover the game extensively, or just simple things like how they plan on doing DLC, the amount of content the game has, the fact that it has a fully fleshed out single player story, and space battles with a completely reworked flight system. Yeah, there's just a lot of things that are all of a sudden making me be like, wow, this could be the Battlefront game that we've all wanted. When you look at the structure of Star Wars Battlefront 2, from content to their DLC plan, to just the changes that we can see in game feel, like recoil, and a lot of things that, again, other creators have already talked about from their first-hand experience, this very much looks like a Battlefront game that isn't just about how shiny and how great it can sound, but also how good it can feel to play, and how they could potentially finally make something that is the ultimate Star Wars sandbox for both multiplayer, single player, and co-op with the game's arcade mode and split screen that they're going to be featuring this time around. So just a lot of good stuff all of a sudden pouring into the woodwork. And we should actually start by talking about content. We have that full single player, which is taking the perspective of a special ops fighter character. I don't actually know too much about the in-depth lore. I just know that they're doing a really cool thing with some Empire stuff, you know, being on the dark side. I can't wait to see what they want to do with that. I honestly just haven't wanted to know too much about the story. Been trying to keep it under dark. I don't want anything spoiled. I just want to go into that, and hopefully DICE can make it just a really awesome joyride with some great gameplay fueled stuff. And hopefully it's not just a cinematic mess. You know, that has been, I think, an issue that DICE has personally struggled with as they've made their way through the last couple of Battlefield entries. You know, just way too many cinematics, way too much like the Hollywood action stuff like Call of Duty used to try and do back in the day, and not enough of just embracing the things that make DICE games special, focusing on their awesome gameplay mechanics. So hopefully it's more gameplay. I'm sure there's going to be cutscenes. I know we all want story because it's Star Wars, it's an original story in the Star Wars universe. I'm not saying they shouldn't have that, but I hope gameplay is at the forefront and it's done really well. Outside of that, though, we've got a bunch of new multiplayer modes coming into the fray. We've got, again, that split-screen co-op. The big thing for me when it comes to the player versus player stuff is the fact that they're revamping a lot of the systems that I personally felt sucked massive dark side in the first Battlefront. Now we actually have a proper class system. Each of the different classes actually look really freaking cool. I'm especially interested in the fact that I can play as like a freaking droid and, you know, have like my bubble shield up if I'm playing one of the defense classes, you know, just new weapons, reworking again the recoil, trying to get that game feel right, and also redoing the way the power-ups system works, right? So we no longer have these random pickups on the battlefield. You no longer just stumble across Darth Vader. Look, guys, I'm Darth Vader. I totally walked with the Darth Vader. I don't know what I'm doing. My controller, my batteries died. I wasted Darth Vader. It's not like that anymore. Now everyone has a relatively equal chance to gain access to vehicles and heroes. So instead you're just basically gaining battle points, and then you spend those battle points to spawn in as like a rocket trooper, or as Boba Fett, or as Rey or Kylo. Yes, that gives you that proper sense of in-game progression that was lacking so much in the original Battlefront. So I'm really stoked about those two systems more than anything. As I mentioned, they also redid the flight systems though. So again, things that are just hopefully going to improve the game feel. It was the biggest negative in the original Battlefront for me. The game feel just sucked, man. You know, everybody was obsessing over how good Battlefront sounded. Oh, how good it sounds, how good it looks. Of course it looks and sounds good. It's on the Frostbite engine. DICE made it. Everything DICE makes looks pretty freaking good and sounds even better. Not to mention they have actual access to the assets, both audio and visual, from Lucasfilms, from Disney. So yeah, of course it looks and sounds like Star Wars. And that's something I already see a lot of people saying with Battlefront 2, and I'm like, listen, it can look and sound amazing, but that's not going to save it if the game feel is rubbish. So again, looking at a lot of the footage, I can only speak on what I've seen. and some of the things that other people have talked about. You know, there's more recoil to the weapons now. They're making a push to just hopefully give us that personal reward, that satisfaction of actually being good with a weapon, you know. I understand that they want the game to reach some sort of a casual audience, but I just don't think it's necessary to push for, you know, something that people aren't going to want to play after a month, because you just feel like you're holding a hose that just defies the laws of gravity and isn't affected at all by inertia or movement, and you just spray bullets out everywhere. It was really not good. It was a very poor part of the gameplay, that game feel for the original Battlefront. So hopefully this is something they've really looked at. It looks better. And usually if something looks better, that means it's going to feel even better, but we'll see how things turn out come beta and come launch day. I'm really stoked about the Starfighter stuff, though. Flying in Battlefront 1 was probably the worst thing about the entire game. It was super arcadey. It had almost no like risk or reward to it. It felt very lacking in the skill requirement department. Like there was nothing you could learn or do to get better at it. You just kind of abused its weird and strange mechanics. Now we see something that has like full role mechanics, and it looks like proper dogfighting, and that has me really excited for that as well. Now, DLC is something that we should all be really excited about. It's the #1 reason I'm going to be buying the game day one, probably picking up a copy on PC and a copy on Xbox to play with my brother, gifting it to him, because it's all going to be free when it comes to gameplay-focused content. That's right, maps, modes, heroes, anything that affects the gameplay is going to be completely free. How long has it taken DICE and EA to figure out that this was the way to go? I'm pretty sure a bunch of really top-tier, popular YouTubers even went to a conference with them for Battlefield 1 and said, guys, don't do paid DLC. What do they do? Premium Season Pass for Battlefield 1, and they try and fix it with premium friends. Fortunately, Battlefront 2 comes along, and they realize that is not the route to go. We will not have to worry about purchasing maps. The community being split, it will all be there right from the get-go, which makes me a little bit more comfortable when we start talking about crates. So I don't know what the price point is going to be like on crates yet, or if you'll even be able to buy crates with real-world currency. You can craft these new upgrades, essentially upgraded cards for the heroes, so you may be able to get a different lightsaber, a more powerful lightsaber for one of the heroes, or a better, you know, blaster or rocket for Boba Fett or something like that. You can craft these things, but you can open crates and get them randomly. So they're really walking a fine line there, you know. Again, the DLC is free, which makes me happy. And typically, if a game is buy to play to start, and they give us a lot of free DLC like Overwatch has done, I will gladly have some form of a crate system. But I think it's smarter to make it cosmetic, and it's not just me talking about like what's right and what's wrong. I think it's foolish and a massive missed opportunity to not make it cosmetic, because I feel like you'd make way more money. This is the Star Wars universe. Can you imagine how crazy people would go if they found out those crates contained alternative skins for some of their favorite heroes and characters in the game? You know, imagine being able to get a special Kylo Ren skin, a special Rey skin, a special Finn skin, a special Han Solo skin, Luke Skywalker, having basically different versions of these characters, and they were all tied to the crate system. You know, like rare versions or versions that we saw in an animated film somewhere or in a comic book even. You know, just really reaching out into the universe, the lore, and the canon, and just pulling stuff in to make these really cool cosmetic-themed items. People would go crazy for them, man. He's dropping cash every other day to get those things, you know? So, you know, they're thinking, I think, like, oh, well, you know, there's crates and you can buy it and you just, you know, you unlock things a bit quicker. We've been doing that with the shortcut thing, even though if you go on any platform where you can review DLC, like Xbox and the PlayStation Store, those things have like 1 to half-star ratings. Everybody hates them. I don't even know who buys them, but people hate them. So while they've learned and they're giving us gameplay-focused DLC for free, they still haven't learned that much. Rather than getting slapped twice, they're still going to get slapped once. You'd think they'd learn there, and again, I think it's a massive missed opportunity. But nonetheless, there's so much other positive things going on with Battlefront 2 that has me genuinely excited. Like, this could be the type of game that I pick up and play. And Battlefront 1 had some of these moments, right? Some of these moments where you're playing it, and the audio design kicks in, and you realize you're on Hoth, and all of a sudden, for a moment, things freeze, and you do like that 360 look around, and you're like, holy crap. That was actually really cool, dude. Did you see that? And then 2 seconds later, you go to spray a guy through a doorway, and it's like, there's no recoil, and then I got killed by a random Darth Vader that somebody picked up on the screen, you know? And then it crumbled. The dream, the moment, the excitement crumbled. So hopefully that excitement can be there. We can have those Battlefield moments as Battlefront moments because of just better systems implementation, better overall design for the game as a whole. And we can actually enjoy the audio-visual presentation because the game feel will hopefully be on point. A lot of hopes and concerns for this one. I'm excited, and I know a lot of you are, so we'll find out once we get our hands on the beta, and of course the full release come November. I would love to hear your personal hopes and concerns for Star Wars Battlefront 2. What has you excited? What has you worried? And what has you just really pissed off, potentially? Let me know down in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, remember to play smart, remember to play to challenge yourself, but most importantly, remember to play for fun.